Hysterical tears of BTS's Jin at chaeunwoo's last dinner before enlistment raise big questions. What happened behind that table? In a closed gathering that was meant to be a quiet moment before parting ways, BTS's Jin suddenly burst into hysterical tears during chaeunwoo's last dinner before military enlistment. The incident occurred just days before Eunwoo was scheduled to enter the military training center, and it immediately sparked serious discussions within South Korea's entertainment industry. The pressing question now is, what was actually discussed at that dinner table that caused Jin, who is known for his composure, to lose emotional control? Chaeunwoo, one of the most radiant celebrities of the current K-pop generation, officially confirmed his participation in mandatory military service. The confirmation was announced by his agency after months of speculation. However, public attention has not only focused on his departure schedule but also on the extraordinary reaction from BTS's Jin, one of the most respected figures in Korea's entertainment world, who could not hold back his tears when the moment of farewell arrived. Internal sources reported that the dinner was attended by several of Eunwoo's close friends, but only one name became the center of attention that night: Jin. As a senior who had just completed his military service, Jin was considered the person who best understood the challenges and pressures that Eunwoo would face. Yet no one expected that the farewell and advice would end with Jin's loud sobbing echoing through the room. According to witnesses present at the scene, the atmosphere was initially warm and relaxed. Light conversation, laughter, and memories filled the dinner table. But when Eunwoo shared one crucial statement, the details of which have not yet been revealed to the public, Jin's expression changed drastically. Within minutes, Jin began sobbing and eventually cried uncontrollably. The management of both parties declined to comment officially, but indirect sources confirmed that the mood of the dinner completely shifted following that emotional moment. Many speculate that Jin's tears were not merely expressions of sadness over parting ways. Some Korean pop culture analysts suspect that Jin experienced a kind of emotional reflection, a psychological outburst that occurs when someone sees a close person preparing to walk a path they have once endured themselves. Jin is known to have gone through a difficult time at the start of his military service, and his experience is said to have been emotionally taxing. Did he see a reflection of himself in Eunwoo that night? Furthermore, the personal relationship between Jin and Eunwoo has long been rumored to be more than just fellow celebrities. They have often been spotted attending private events together, and several interactions on variety shows have shown a level of emotional closeness that cannot be dismissed. However, both have consistently chosen to maintain professionalism without making explicit statements about the depth of their relationship. Netizens have begun linking this moment to various speculations, including the possibility that Eunwoo had shared a deep concern with Jin before his departure. Was there a major worry he confided? Or did Jin know something that has not yet been made public about Eunwoo's mental state prior to entering military training? On the other hand, fans of both parties expressed massive empathy. Many stated that such moments show the human side of idols who are often seen wrapped in perfection. Jin's tears are proof that our artists also carry burdens, losses, and fears as heavy as ours. One fan wrote on an online community forum, "Experts are also starting to question the emotional burden often unseen in celebrities before their military service. Many must hide their anxiety, portray a strong image, and complete work contracts within a very short time frame before entering training." In Eunwoo's case, he continued appearing in public events and finished filming projects even as his departure date approached. Was this pressure what ultimately weighed on Jin, who knows how heavy that transition can be? This incident also serves as a reflective moment for the Korean entertainment industry as a whole. As more and more new generation idols begin reaching the age for mandatory military service, will the industry provide a safe and humane space for them to say goodbye, express anxiety, or even cry if needed? To this day, there has been no further official statement from Jin or Eunwoo regarding the conversation that triggered the emotional outburst that night. But one thing has become very clear: a dinner that was meant to be a form of personal support has transformed into a far greater emotional symbol about friendship, fear, and the silence rarely heard behind the K-pop stage. Will the public ever know what was said at that table? Could Jin someday explain the real reason behind his hysterical tears? Or will this event remain a quiet fragment in the chapter of two great figures parting ways in silence? Time will tell. But that night, behind the closed doors of a restaurant, two individuals who usually appear strong in front of the world let their vulnerable sides speak louder than words. The emotional dinner between BTS's Jin and chaeunwoo, culminating in Jin's hysterical tears just before Eunwoo's enlistment, has now turned into a subject of serious public debate. Many are wondering, was this a sincere expression from a friend, or is there another possibility behind the touching moment? In an era where information spreads rapidly, this question is more relevant than ever. How well can we distinguish real events from narratives strategically constructed to create specific effects? Some eyewitnesses claim that the event truly happened and that Jin's tears were not scripted. But sources cited across platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter often do not include clear visual evidence or official confirmation from related agencies. This raises a fundamental question. Are the emotions we witness truly occurring in a real time and space? Or are they just narrative clips neatly packaged to create emotional impact on the public? Events like this require us to go beyond mere consumption of information. We need to ask, why is this information emerging now? Who benefits from it? Is there a pattern in the distribution of this information indicating the involvement of media strategy? And most importantly, are we being manipulated by narrative forces we don't fully recognize? If it is true that Jin cried out of sadness seeing his friend about to begin military service, it is a deeply touching human moment. But what if the narrative was constructed in such a way to garner sympathy, build emotional imagery, or even divert attention from more important issues behind the entertainment industry curtain? Isn't the Korean entertainment industry known for its strategic shaping of public perception? In many cases, the public is easily swept up in a wave of collective emotion without realizing that they are absorbing unvalidated information. Short clips on social media, dialogue snippets without context, or narratives that go viral within hours can form mass opinion without solid factual foundations. Are we becoming victims of an industry that knows exactly how to manipulate public empathy? Moreover, we must examine the media's role in shaping opinion. Bombastic and dramatic headlines like Jin BTS cries hysterically or tears that shook Seoul are often used to attract clicks and exposure rather than provide objective information. In this context, we face an ethical dilemma. Does the media prioritize truth or sensation when information originates from platforms such as TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, which are known for their high virality? Narrative distortion is highly possible. Videos taken from specific angles, captions embedded with personal opinions, and algorithms that boost emotional content can create the illusion that the event is bigger or more dramatic than reality. So, how much can we trust this narrative? We are not claiming that the event is fake, but we urge you to ask yourself, do I believe it because the data is strong, or because the emotion is strong? Do I believe it because I saw direct evidence, or just because I followed the majority's reaction? These are important questions we must always carry when consuming information. Beyond that, the public must evaluate their role in spreading information. Are we contributing to the blurring of the line between fact and fiction by resharing unverified info? Or are we aware enough to pause until clarity emerges? In today's digital ecosystem, every user is both a consumer and producer of information. Our responsibility cannot be ignored. Some believe Jin's emotional moment may have been orchestrated to support certain promotional agendas, be it for individual projects, agency collaboration, or even preparation for a public figure's transition from active life to military life. Such speculation needs to be approached with healthy skepticism. But the question remains, is the public ready to face the possibility that what they believe to be a sincere moment might be part of a planned campaign? Conversely, if Jin's tears truly happened without manipulation, it should be a deep reflection on the heavy emotional burden celebrities carry. We often demand perfection, smiles, and strength from public figures, without realizing that behind the scenes they endure pressure, fear, and hidden sadness. Are we being fair in treating them as human beings? In closing, we want to emphasize that all information in this article is gathered from various public sources and social media. The validity of each claim still requires further verification. Therefore, we urge readers to maintain critical distance toward any circulating information.